The first time I had to cut someone off, it was the very first time I ever bartended. So I had this, I was doing a wedding, and let me be very clear. The place I was bartending in has a main city where I lived, and then all around it is just rural area. I mean, it's based, so I grew up in the Midwest, and that's where I was bartending, was somewhere in the Midwest, and that's where I was living, obviously. And so that's pretty much every Midwestern place. So if you're from the Midwest, you know very well. It's pretty much just farm town if you get like 5 to 10 minutes outside of the city. So I was bartending at a barn that was hosting a wedding. Uh, the most middle of nowhere place. Most people were wearing cowboy boots. I felt out of place not wearing a cowboy hat and a flannel. It was very, very American rural. So, uh, where the bar is stationed is basically right across from the entrance to where the reception hall was for the wedding. And obviously, that's where, all the tables and stuff were in this reception hall. But I'm like over here, and people are kind of coming in here. So they can go to the bar and then go to the reception hall. This is actually the door to the outside. So, uh, one of the bridesmaids comes up and right before the main entrance. So this is like the wedding's done. They're about to just start partying their asses off. The bridesmaid comes up, and she was the maid of honor. Yeah, she was the maid of honor. She comes up and she just looks at me. She goes, "I need wine," and I was just like, "Okay." So I pour her some wine and I give her the glass, and she grabs the glass, and I'm about to put the cork back in the bottle, and she just goes, "No, no, keep it open." Downs the glass of wine, puts it over to me, and just like kind of looks at me expectantly, and pours some more in there, and I like fill it up a little bit more than usual. She downs it, looks at me again, and I just pour a little more, but I pour the normal amount. I'm like, okay, maybe she's just gonna keep drinking until I stop. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen. So then she downs that, and she's like, "Thank you." And then they go do their grand entrance at the reception. Apparently the bride was being a total, I shouldn't swear. Apparently the bride was being a total effing C word. Uh, and so she was uh, struggling with that, the poor maid of honor. So I understand her struggles. I've been to many a wedding, I have been in a wedding, and I can tell you that parts of it can be stressful if people in it are not good people or well prepared. So clearly, this was one of the cases, and that bridesmaid just kept coming up for wine. And a couple times she did some shots with people, which let me tell you, at a wedding, totally normal. Like, people having like 5 beers and 3 shots is normal for a wedding in the Midwest, at least in the United States. Maybe it's not elsewhere, but it totally is in the US. And none of these people are driving home. There's always some kind of Uber setup, or like a nephew who's not yet 21 is going to be driving people and charging them like $5 a head or something. So he's making tons of money. Or they might have like a bus set up to a hotel, or someone's wedding is in the hotel. So it's not an issue. And I made sure with people, like, "You're not driving, right?" "Yes." "Okay, good. You're fine." So she was doing shots. And eventually I see her come in from the outside, and because like I said, the door was literally probably 5 feet in front of the edge of the bar, just like on my left as I'm looking out of the bar. And she's like stumbling, she's belligerent. And one of the other bridesmaids is kind of taking care of her, and she kind of looks at me and she's like, "No more for her." And I'm like, "Okay, that's fine." So the chick puts her glass down and she's like, "More wine, please." And only she says it very drunk. She's like, "Ice, more wine." As white girl wasted people do. And I just kind of handed her a bottle of water, because they just had bottles of water for us to give out to people that were sitting on ice. They were nice and cool, because this was a summer wedding, so it was hot. So I just kind of handed her a bottle of water, and she's like, "No, no, I just need wine." And I was like, "Take the hint, lady. Like, please, just take the hint." And So eventually she was like, no, I need wine. And I'm like, finish the water first. You need water. Like, and she kind of quibbled with me for a minute. And eventually I was just like, I really think you've had too much. I can't serve you anymore. I'm sorry. And I felt so bad because it was my first time ever cutting someone off. And I'm not the person that's going to be stopping the party. My Twitch stream is literally called The Drunk Brewer. I mean, come on. And I eventually got her convinced if she drank 2 waters, I would give her another glass of wine. I don't know why that's what I argued with her, but that's what I did. So I gave her the 2 bottles of water. And her friend was just like, thank you. And she walked out. I never saw her again for the rest of the night. So the friend probably made sure that she never tried to drink again for the rest of the night. So that was okay.